Welcome to Mor-In The Know podcast. I'm your host, Josh Morin, co-founder and vice president of Field Supplements, as well as sobriety, woke, business, and wellness coach. Mor-In The Know delivers an array of content based on marketing, health and fitness, personal branding, addiction, and often goes down the rabbit hole of conspiracy, politics, and the truth. If you seek to better understand the inner workings of human performance, business, consciousness, and humanity, you have come to the right place. Thank you for tuning in and tagging along. Let's get today's podcast started. What is up, everyone? It is Wednesday night, man, and we are on the final 30 for 30 podcast. This is it, man. This is 30 podcasts in 30 days. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you've watched every single one up to this point, you are a true OG fan, supporter. I don't want to call you guys fans. You're my I want to turn my fans into family, and that's what you guys are, is a family. This is a family effort, and I just want to extend my token of gratitude to each and every single one of you. And if this is your first podcast, this is the first time that you've tuned in Mor-In The Know, thank you for that. Man, 30 podcasts in 30 days. Whew. There's a lot of reflection to be doing here, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so in tonight's broadcasting series. Is I'm going to break down the four things, probably a little bit more than four things, but four main things that doing 30 podcasts in 30 days has taught me. There's been so many lessons and messages that I've learned over the last 30 days, and the biggest thing is when I first started this, I had really no idea exactly what I was doing with all of this stuff, and that's okay. That when you start something new, I was actually watching a documentary series or documentary film the other day on this guy who's been sailing in a boat and living in his boat, him and his wife, and they have a baby daughter now, and he sold everything 11, 12 years ago and essentially started reading a bunch of books about sailing, about living off of grid on his boat, and he's been now living on his boat for 10 years, and he knew nothing about it. He wasn't an expert in the field beforehand, and he had very limited knowledge, but he had the capacity to learn, and he had the eagerness and the willingness to be open and receptive and be a student. And that's what I feel that this has taught me the most, first and foremost, is being a student and allowing myself to be coachable, allowing myself to be receptive of others' opinions as well as their input. And there's a lot of people who I've respected who have reached out to me and offered some incredible first-class input that I've definitely taken to heart as well as I've applied. And that's what this is about, and that's what life is about. It's just being a student of the game. Is each and every day you don't know it all. A lot of people think that they know it all, but they really don't, and I don't know shit. What I do know, though, is how to be coachable. What I do know is how to be receptive to learning, because learning, man, the day that you stop learning is the day that your soul dies. And I feel that I'm just an infant, and I'm in my infant and my toddler years of learning. I feel that I'm just getting started. So that's what this podcast has taught me, is that a lot of people talk, and I was one of those people. I said, I'm going to start a podcast. I bought all this equipment, and this equipment sat out here for about 2.5 months. And I stared at this equipment, and I got it set up, and I said, well, I don't really know how all this works. I'm just going to kind of put it off. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm going to step up. I'm going to do a podcast. And I did 7 podcasts initially, and now we're on episode number 37, and this is 30 podcasts in 30 days. And the first bulletin that I have is that you can do anything one day at a time. Most people overcomplicate the system. When you're wanting to accomplish a goal, or you have a feat that you're wanting to chase, or you're something that you seek, most people get overwhelmed. They tell themselves a story about, wow, that's going to be so hard. Maybe you're 50 or 60 pounds overweight and you have to lose 50 or 60 pounds, or you want to gain some weight, or maybe you want to eventually run a marathon, or you want to learn a craft, or be able to make a knife, or shoot guns, or start a podcast, or write a book. Most people overwhelm themselves with the story that has yet to happen, about a future outcome that has yet to happen, and essentially you find yourself getting ready to get ready in a body that's overwhelmed, that's in anxiety, and a state that is not conducive to producing the results that you seek. And what happens is you procrastinate. You sit in your ass, you procrastinate, and you justify, and you procrastinate, and you justify, and you wait, and then you start to wait forever. And it never happens. And the thing that I've learned about this is taking things one day at a time is going to ultimately be the key to success. That's been the key to my success in my sobriety. That's literally the saying in AA and in sobriety is one day at a time. If you can do one day, just win today and just live for the now and live right here in this space. And just for one day, if you could do just one day, then tomorrow you wake up and you do that one day. And then the next day you do that one day. But be and do your best today in that one day, in the 86,400 seconds that we have today here, one day at a time. And that's how I reached 30 podcasts. Is I didn't overwhelm myself and say, wow, man, for the next 30 days, I'm really going to have to devote 2 to 3 hours every single day to doing this. Ooh, that sounds like a lot. You know what? It did sound like a lot, and it sounded like a brilliant challenge, and it sounded like something that I wanted to do to get myself uncomfortable, to get myself to sit in this chair, to sit my ass in the chair and produce content each and every day that I know that I'm capable of doing. And I know many people out there that are listening and that are viewing this have something that they can and that you will be able to do once you sit your ass in the chair, or even get your ass off the chair and into the garage or into the gym or into the classroom or into the library, or wherever that your setting is where you can produce. It's time. One day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with the story that has yet to happen. Be in the moment, stay in the moment, and just be and do your best each and every single day. The second thing that I have on the list is detach what people think. All right, so I've had 99% of the messages that I've received have been absolutely incredibly positive, uplifting, and inspiring. I've obviously had a few messages that were the opposite. And here's the thing. I've said this before in previous podcasts, is I don't do this podcast and I don't share my thoughts and opinions for the haters. I don't share this podcast for the people who are sending me bad messages. And those messages are far and few. I really don't attract that type of energy. But every now and then, there's going to be a situation where somebody says something. And here's the thing. I'm completely detached from what others think for me. Not that I don't care, because I do care what others think of me. I'm just detached from that feeling. I don't like the saying, I don't give a fuck what people think about me, because that's so much anger. Like when you say, I don't give a fuck, that's so much anger. And I used to be that person until my coach said, take out the word fuck and put detach. I'm no longer attached. I am detached from the opinions and thoughts of others. And I'm emotionally detached from that. But I do care what people think. But I'm not creating content, and I'm not delivering my source message because of a worry about what you're going to think of me. I've actually touched on a few edgy topics that I have felt have been edgy in the past, simply because I haven't shared them publicly. And, I feel great about it. I delivered my best. I said what I needed to say. I'm a 26-year-old man now, and I'm here to not judge anyone. And those that are tuning in are not to judge me. I'm my own person. You're your own person. So when you're doing something like this, and you're going out and chasing your dreams, too many people are wrapped up in the story about what's in other people's heads. I hear people, well, man, I can't wait so I can flex on those people, and I can't wait for all the people who doubted me. Don't do it for your doubters. Don't do it for your haters. Do it for the people who love you. Fuck the doubters. They want that energy. They want you to feel that way. They want you to respond that way. They want you to feel that. Don't give them that power. Don't give them that energy. Give your energy to the people who deserve it, those who love you, those who support you, who care about you, believe in you, and that's who you should be doing it for. And most importantly, you should be doing it for yourself. So once you're detached from what other people think and their feelings about you, you are now responsible for you, and you are the most important person is you. And it's okay. Whoever said being selfish is bad is wrong. It's okay to be selfish, and it's not being selfish. It's giving yourself the spiritual capacity to begin to dig deeper within your soul, to figure out who you are, to understand your inner workings and how your gears and how your screws and how everything works inside of you, to be able to operate most optimally, most functionally, to deliver who you are at your very core. I've gone through incredible transformations over the last 4 or 5 years. I went from a Division I wrestler who was this very tough guy mentality, arrogant fucking asshole at times, with a chip on my shoulder, to completely losing my identity. I had 4 back surgeries. I had to drop out of college, and I was wondering, man, who am I? Do people still love me because I'm not a combat athlete? Do people still like me because I'm not a wrestler? But now that I'm not a wrestler, what is my identity? I grew up my whole life, and this is what my identity's been. Who am I? And I went on a vision quest, for a handful of years, and during that vision quest, I grew my hair out, had my beard real long, and over the years, I've gone through many transformations, and I've done many different things. And the biggest thing is I've always followed the tune of my own heart, because regardless what anybody says or anybody has suggested to me, what I wanted to do is I wanted to figure this life out for myself. And through that time, there was a lot of people who didn't agree with what I was doing, friends, family, people who cared about me, but that's okay. And to this day, people don't agree with all my decisions. Some people say things about my tattoos. Some people say things about me swearing. At the end of the day, I'm the one who has to answer myself. And I know at the end of the day, I'm being true to myself. I'm living in a space and a place that's at peace. And I'm coming from a place of non-judgment for anyone else. If you want to live a certain way, I accept you for who you are. I meet you for where you're at. But I'm not here to judge. I'm no one to judge. I'm completely detached from you and what your situation is. I care about you and I want to connect with you and I love you. But at the end of the day, we are the captain of our meat vehicle in our spaceship, our meat spaceship, our meat spaceship that we're all in. This is our body, man. The next thing on the list is have patience with the process and have patience with yourself. And that's the biggest thing is the process, man. It's been 30 days and I've had that question asked a lot is how do you come up with the content for every single day? And besides me just saying something as simple as I am connected to my divine source, meaning the fourth dimensional me, my higher self, God. And that source has allowed me to be able to channel this message through my body easily and effortlessly. There has been some days where I have been less connected to source, and there's definitely been some days that I've had more of a challenge to be able to get out a message that is smooth and articulate. But I feel that each and every single day, what I have done is I've just been patient. I've been patient with the process and understanding that, this isn't going to be perfect every single time. And I'm cultivating it to where it can be. There's some challenges, like even just now, earlier, this is the 30th podcast, the 37th in total, and my memory card was full. I forgot to format the memory card before I started recording. Just little things like that. Sometimes I'm not quite in Zoom. Sometimes the lighting is a little bit messed up. I'm still working on the microphone. So just having patience in the process with anything that you do, especially if you're a beginner on something. Understand that all masters, people who've achieved mastery at something, were once beginners, and understand that people who are in mastery also have their own challenges, so they have to have patience as well in their mastery. So if you are holding back from starting something because you are afraid of the process, it's time to let go of that story that you're playing in your mind, and it's time to be patient with yourself, because guess what? It's okay not to be perfect. I mess up sometimes when I speak. I stutter sometimes, and that's okay. And in each and every single day, I am articulating better. I'm getting better and better and better. You don't hear me saying as much. I don't stutter as much. And these are things within my dialogue that I have created and been able to develop better because I'm doing it every single day. I'm buying into the process. I'm being patient with myself. I'm not getting mad at myself if I make a mistake. And I've really allowed myself to step into a body of delivery and production by not chopping this up. A lot of people, when they do videos like this, they chop up their best parts or when they mess up. And what I said was, I'm going to do 30 podcasts in 30 days, and now's the time for me to step up. There's no chopping up videos when I mess up. There's no editing things. I'm just delivering from my rawest, authentic self, and you're receiving this message as it comes out. I don't take 2 takes. I don't take 3 takes. It's a 1-take shot every single day. I come in, I sit my ass in this chair, I produce for 10 to 15 minutes, and I deliver, and that's it. And I've had patience with myself because some days I really feel that I'm crushing it, and I feel that energy, that etheric energy that's coming through me, and I'm really channeling this message from source, and I feel that energy some days. And some days I'm not forcing it, but some days I do feel that, hey, it does take a little bit for me to warm up, and I feel that within a minute or two I'm able to relax in my body, and I'm able to proficiently deliver the message that I was meant to deliver on that day. That source was giving me the opportunity to deliver that day. And that's just it. It's just having patience in the process and having patience with yourself in the process. If you're a beginner with anything, let's just say you started a kickboxing class or you started to learn boxing or wrestling, your first day, your first month, your first year, you're not going to be a master at it. So if you can understand that you can just learn each and every single day to grow and be a student of the game and take it one day at a time, then guess what? A year, 2, 3 years down the road, you're going to look back and be like, wow, man, look at all the growth that has happened. Look at all the changes that have been created over this time period because I was patient with myself and because I was patient with the process. And last but not least, the final thing that I've learned from this podcast is that yeah, sex definitely sells. So I'm going to go ahead and take my shirt off. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking my shirt off for the podcast. But my podcast with that I put in for Naked News has the highest views by almost 10 times or more from the average video, over 10 times or more from the average video. And I really do hope that my mission for that video was for sure to raise some awareness. And if that's what it accomplished or didn't accomplish, that's here nor there. But what I really do want us to be able to take a conscious look, and I've been doing that within myself, is I'm understanding that my message is more important than getting likes and comments. I don't care if this podcast gets 5 views. I've had some podcasts get less than 10 views, and I poured my heart out into it. And that's okay. I'm not going to force things, but I also had a podcast that got 1,000 views and a podcast that got 300 or 400 views. And altogether, it's I've had thousands of views and thousands of hours of listening time across all platforms. And to me, delivering your message is way more important than the likes. Fuck the likes, man. Fuck the likes and fuck the comments. Deliver your message. Who cares about the likes and who cares about the comments? Deliver your message, because guess what? The people who are meant to tune in and the people who are ready to receive your message, they will. And who cares if people think that you're cringy? Once again, that goes back to number 2, detaching yourself from the opinions of others. Detach yourself from those thoughts and feelings, because those are limiting beliefs, because the right people will hear your message in the right way, and your message will come out eloquently to them. Your message will come out in a God-sent way, a divine way to them, in a way that they can resonate and connect on a level that's spiritual. Not everybody's going to resonate with me like this. Maybe they think that my delivery's off. Maybe they think that I look weird, or I say things weird, or I'm not as eloquent as I think, or whatever it may be, whatever story that's in their head. I don't have that story in my head. I'm just delivering this message because I'm just here sitting in front of this camera, talking to myself and talking to this camera like I'm talking to you. And if you were sitting right in front of me, I'd be having the same exact conversation, the same exact dialogue. So this has allowed me to get into my body with clothes on and deliver a message that is meaningful. We got to get rid of skin having more likes than substance. Look at the podcasts, look at the books, look at the posts of people that are really putting their heart out on social media and delivering some of the best quality content and messages on these platforms that are going to allow you to grow. Utilize that. Stop following all these accounts of these naked people, and of course I'm naked sometimes as well, and I do follow these accounts. But if somebody's naked and there's no substance, are you just liking it because they're hot and they're sexy? Talk to them for 5 minutes. I really want to get away from that notion. I know that it won't ever happen because there's so much money in media and so much money in Hollywood to push that sex is the answer all the time. It's in our face every single day, from a little kid to our adulthoods, that's saying that sex, and it doesn't matter if you have substance. That's completely wrong. And I believe that it is our conscious duty to be able to change this dialogue and begin to really see a conscious shift, a paradigm shift amongst people, to be able to wrap their heads around a new idea that substance is more sexy than skin. And that's what I'm trying to cultivate in my life and in my message, is that I feel that I do have a phenomenal message besides trying to look pretty with tattoos and my shirt off and muscles. That nobody gives a fuck about that. But at the end of the day, we all get buried 6 feet under. Some of us obviously cremated, but we're all going 6 feet under. We're all going to die. So during my lifetime, I don't want to be remembered as a sex symbol. I want to be remembered as a substance symbol, and that's why I'm here to deliver this message. So that's the final message for my 30 for 30 podcast on Mor-In The Know. Once again, I just want to say thank you. I love you guys, and I know it's silly to say I love you too, a screen of people, but I've received so many amazing messages, and I know that there's people out there listening to this every single day and have listened to this from the start. And if you're just joining in, I do appreciate you, man and woman. I know I see guys and man a lot, but bro, I'm really really doing my best to commit to changing my dialogue on saying bro and guys and homie and whatever. That used to be my old hippie life, and I want to be a little bit more articulate when I speak about these things. So it's all about the process, man. Having patience about the process, bro. But with all that being said, I just want to extend another token of gratitude for y'all. If you want to stay in tune, I'm going to be doing these 4 or 5 times a week, every single week. Please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. I'm going to continue to deliver my best. And if there's any topics that you would ever want me to speak about, to touch on, and you feel that maybe I can have some newfound perspective and elaborate a bit in some detail on some topics that you would enjoy hearing about, please direct message me, comment below, and let me know what the people want to hear, because this is about the people. And to stay in the know, more in the know actually, you can find me on Instagram at Mor-In The Know. That's MORINTHEKNOW. As well as behind me, I got some boxes that I got to take to the post office tomorrow. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been ordering product. We've seen some slow months, but now we're seeing some major growth within Fueled again now that the gyms are opening back up and everybody is back in this conscious effort of really cultivating and growing their bodies from the inside and the outside. And if you would seek assistance in your recovery, your performance, and optimize your time inside the gym as well as outside the gym, I suggest supplementation. Supplementation isn't here to replace your programming. It's here to supplement exactly what you're doing. So if you got everything else dialed in, let's add in some supplements. If you seek assistance with supplementation, exactly how to use them, why to use them, and which products are specifically for you, please reach out to me directly and I'll be glad to assist you. You can find all of our products. We have 18 of them now on fueledsupplements.com. Use my code FUELED20 and you'll receive 20% off at checkout. Last but not least, morintheknow.org. You can find me on there. If you seek to coach with me and you greatly want to elevate your mind, your body, your spiritual abilities, as well as let go if you're an addict, a sports athlete, a combat athlete, an entrepreneur, a business owner, or somebody who is ready and committed to change your life because you deserve it. You deserve to hire me. I offer free 20-minute phone calls. Please reach out on my website at morintheknow.org or contact me directly for your 20-minute free coaching call. I love you guys. Have a blessed evening, and I will be back. I'm taking tomorrow off. I'll be back on Friday.